In this video, I'll show you how to edit like Iman Gadzhi's OG editor, Nikola. We'll recreate this super advanced board game animation, which looks absolutely amazing, as you can see. And the market still doesn't have that many people who can edit like this, meaning you, my friend, after watching this video, you're gonna be the one that stands out with your edits. Make sure to check out all my other videos about how to edit like Nikola after watching this one. And with that being said, let's get into it. Alright boys, here we are in After Effects and this is the animation. This is a super advanced one with the camera cuts and the 3D scenes, but we're gonna be able to make it, so let's get straight into it. There's pretty much no assets needed for this project, so everything can be just done inside of the After Effects tools and stuff like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and make a new composition, and we'll name this board game animation. That's fine. Let's just make this 1920 1080, and duration is like, I don't know, 10 seconds, and background black. Boom. Awesome. Now, first up, we're gonna design the scene. So we need to make the path thingy where it goes from here, then it goes down and back to the right. So the way we're gonna make this is we're gonna make it kind of small so we can fit everything in the screen, and then we're just gonna use the camera to zoom in and make it bigger. So let's design something. I'm gonna turn the grid on just so we can stay symmetrical, and I'll just click right there. I'll click right there. Then let's go down. Let's go right there. Then let's go back to the right. Boom. Then let's go down like, I'd say 4. Yeah, let's do 4 of those little bigger boxes. And then let's count from here and let's go 4 to the right, or to the left, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then let's go down to that one and click right there. Then let's go up, and here we're actually running out of space. So let me just move this down a bit so we can make this perfect. And I'll click this dot with my pen tool so we can continue from that. And then from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go right there, and let's go right there, and let's complete it. Okay, here we have the basic outline of our board game. Perfect. And the first thing I'll do is I'll make this a bit darker actually. So like I said, it's kind of trial and error. And yeah, I think that's all right. Maybe we'll make it 3 pixels. That's nice. All right, then let's just make the lines in between these so that it looks like an actual board game and not just a thing like this. So I'll start off right here, and you can select this layer so they all go in the same shape, because there's no reason not to. And just zoom in right here, make a dot, go up, hold shift so it makes a straight line, and boom. Then same thing right there, we'll make a dot right there. You can also push it kind of like this so they're pretty much perfect. And then we'll select that dot, come over to the left, hold shift so it makes a straight line, and didn't select that. Boom. Then you can also press V and pull it a bit more. And great, that's pretty much how you do it. Now to make this faster, we can, for example, this shape, we can just select it. So I believe it's the shape 3 here. We can duplicate it by hitting Command D. Then we can just go to the position here on the right side, and we can just, where'd it go? Here, we can just pull it down so we don't have to draw it again. We can make it match perfectly. Boom, beautiful and easy. Duplicate it again and bring it to the middle of these, kind of like that. Doesn't even have to be exact, because I think in the original it wasn't exactly perfect circles or squares, but that looks pretty nice. Now let's do this a couple more times and I'll see you then. Alright, so here we have it. I accidentally made a couple new lines in my timeline, but don't worry about that. It works the same. And now the final thing we'll do to this one is we'll make the red or orangey cube right here at the end. So for this one, I'm going to take the rectangle tool, so you can press Q or select it there. And I'll go to a radial gradient. So you can hold Option or Alt and click this and get to the radial one. And let's just actually draw the circle first, or the square first, so we can see how it looks. So just like that, make it match. That's pretty perfect actually. And yeah, let's just go over here and we'll make the middle like a red color, and this one a bit more orangey, something like this I think. And then you just press V to see this, and you pull this like that, and that looks pretty good. Then I'll also press Command T and just type in locked. And let's go with the Roboto font, which I think he uses. Select it and Roboto, maybe a light. Let's scale it down and move it to the center, and we'll make it like a dark red, like that. That looks good. Then let's see exactly where the center is. We can grab a ruler, place it right there, go to this one, and there we go. Yep, that looks good. Now there's also a lock icon in the original, which you can just go to some site called like Flat Icon. I use this one quite a bit, and we can just download something. I'll just leave this in the description as well, so you don't have to come out here and find it on your own, because this is so hard now, isn't it? Just click there, download, and let's see. Click allow, and there we have it. Now let's get this out of the way, and then we can just grab the lock icon, and boom, there we have it. It's pretty massive, so let's scale it down even more. And I think I'll add an effect called Simple Choker. And what this does is it makes it a bit thinner, because I think that's a more clean look. Yeah, that looks way better. And then I'll add a tint, and let's just go to this text, and we'll copy this dark red so it matches perfectly. We'll go to the map black 2 and paste it in there. And there we have it. Very nice. The next thing we're gonna do is write out all the numbers inside these boxes. So let's just start with the first one here. We'll go 1. Let's make it like medium. Yeah, we might as well use the same font, or is it actually Montserrat? No, it's not. Let's just use the Roboto font. It's fine. It's not that deep. And what I'll do is I'll go to one of these shapes. So here we can see the center, and I'll just Command R and grab another ruler and place it right there in the middle of it, just like that. And then we can just snap all these numbers to be in the center, just like that. Or actually, I'm not even gonna snap it, I'm gonna make it in the middle of the one. A bit more like that, because I think it looks better. Awesome. And then we'll type on the bottom LVL, like this. That's in the same layer. LVL, level. And we'll make it really small, just like that. Put it in the center. Now let's see how that looks. That looks good, but we still need to make this. Boom, there we have it. Let's duplicate this, or maybe we'll bring this a bit closer to the one. Now you can duplicate these, Command D, bring them up like that. Bring them down, you can hold Shift so they don't move, and just type in 2, duplicate again, go down, type in 3, then again. For this you can grab a ruler and do the same thing to get this position looking good. We can also make this one match. Yeah, let's just do it like that. This one, let's type in 4, move it to the right a bit, duplicate again, bring it up, and go 5. Nice. This is fire. Now, next, let's move on. Let's make the dude. The way the dude is made, it's pretty simple actually. It's not that complicated. You're just gonna go to the rectangle tool, make a rectangle, hold Shift so it becomes a perfect square. Sorry, I meant square all along. And then you'll just make it a normal fill. We can make it the blue color he had, something like this. Doesn't have to be exact. And turn the stroke off by holding Option and just clicking it off. Then what you'll do is you'll right click, you'll go to layer styles, and you'll take the bevel and emboss. I'm also gonna name this body. So yeah, bevel and emboss. Then you'll go to chisel hard, and you'll just increase the depth, not the depth, you will increase the size and a little bit of the depth, and there you pretty much have it. That's pretty much how the body looks. I think he also has inner glow on it. So same place, inner glow, open it, make it like blue, increase the size a bit. Or actually, I think he has this on a gradient. So yeah, if you just make that one blue, that one a bit lighter of a blue, maybe swap this around. That looks sick. That looks even better than his. So yeah, there we go. That looks good. Now let's make the head. The head is even simpler. Just go to the rectangle or go to the shape tool, ellipse tool, go to the middle, hold Shift and Command, and make it a bit smaller than the body, and use this radial gradient and make it look like this. Then we'll also add inner glow to it. We can just go over here and copy the inner glow. Then go to this. We can also rename this head and go to layer styles of this and just paste that in there. And boom, now we got the inner glow, and we can increase the size a little bit, not too much, and also play around with the range, and that looks pretty sick. Also decrease the depth depth a bit on the body to kind of change the colors, because they were a bit too much like this, so let's make them a little more like that. Good. I'll make this head a bit darker because it's kind of hard to see, so something like this. Alright, that's fine. Now let's get to animating everything. So this first part we're actually going to animate in 2D, and the next part we're going to change it to 3D, because I think that's the easiest way. But yeah, let's start right here with the dude. Just make a position keyframe at the start. We can actually place him a little more like that. Position keyframe, also a rotation keyframe, and on the head we need a scale keyframe. So just do all those keyframes, then select both of them and press U. Go like a second forward and just bring the guy over here and just rotate it. Oh shit, you gotta center the anchor point also. So you can use this plugin or you can hold Command and double tap this thing to center the anchor points. Then you can just rotate it like that, and then you can make a new scale keyframe right there and go to the middle and make the scale a bit bigger so it looks like it's jumping. Then you can select all of them, easy ease them, and let's make the graph that looks like this. So basically pulling the right one all the way to the left. I just used the plugin, but I can also show you guys. So it'll look like this, and then you can press that to see everything and just drag the right one all the way to the left. Boom. Simple and easy. That's how the jump looks now. We'll make it a bit longer. We'll also do the scale on the body as well. I think that needs the scaling as well. So let's do that. And let's increase it a bit. We increase it by like 15, so let's do same thing over there. Easy is that as well. Boom, and let's make this shorter. And actually let's make the graph the 70 graph. So pulling the left one right and the right one left to 70. You can just get this plugin, it's so much easier. And yeah, that's way better. Then let's just make it faster, like that. Boom. Yeah, that bounce looks good. Let's continue. Then this is basically just repeating the same thing, making it land for like a half a second. Then copying these keyframes, going forward a bit, just dragging the dude right there, and you'll rotate it. Let's rotate it like that. And then let's make a scale keyframe, boom, and make the scale like 115 in the middle. Select everything, easy, 70 graph. Boom, easy. Copy these, pull him forward, rotate him like this, make the scale keyframes, go to the center, 115 on both of them, select them, 70 graph. Boom, not that hard. So here we have the dude jumping. Looks pretty awesome. But on this jump it does get a little bit more hard because we have to do the 3D scene switch and it's a bit more difficult. But basically let's do one more jump. So drag him over here, rotate it like this. By the way, I'm hitting W for the rotate to just make it way faster. Then boom, boom, scale, 115. You guys already know. And here, while it's in the air, we're just gonna go right there, maybe one more frame forward. So right here, when it's in the air, we're gonna go and we're gonna cut everything. So boom, let's bring this up. And here we can basically make a new scene. So now what we'll do, let's delete the dude and let's make all of these 3D, boom, 3D. You can hit the toggle switches and modes if you don't see it. And let's make a new camera. Let's do a 2-node camera for this case. And what we'll do is we'll go to this orbit around cursor tool. So this first one here, let's make this fit. And you can hold shift and just drag up so it goes straight and boom. Then you can take this third tool, which I think is the zoom in tool. Just go like that. Take the second tool to go up and boom. Kind of adjust it till it looks good. And there we have it. Pretty simple. Now it's gonna cut from this scene to that scene. And here we need to make the 3D dude, which again is not that hard. Let's just make a new circle for the head, boom, and then let's pre-comp this. Go inside the pre-comp and let's also make the body. So I'll go to my grid and I'll take the pen tool. So right there, I'll make dots like this, and then I'll go a bit more down and make dots like that, dot there, dot there. Actually, let's not make it that wide. Let's do there and there. And there we have the body. Boom. We can kind of center this where's my align tool? Right there, sorry. Forgot about it. Center them so they're in the center. And then we'll name this the head. We'll name this the body. And we need to pre-comp this body because we need to make it 3D. And you can't add effects to advanced 3D layers. And that's what we have to do. So if we just click the 3D on and we go to you go to geometry options, you change your renderer to advanced 3D first, then you hit OK. And as you can see, the gradient effect is turned off because you can't add them to advanced 3D. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of rotate my dude like that. And then I'll increase the extrusion depth till we have something that looks like this. Now any movements we make to this body, we have to make them in this composition, because if I go to the previous comp and I move it, let's say in here, we'll make this 3D. This doesn't really work, as you can see. So any movements will be done inside that composition. So just something to keep in mind. Because on this one, we're gonna add some effects. Let's do inner glow, make it some kind of blue. Let's increase the size a bit. Boom, kind of like that. And now we have to move the head. So let's make the head 3D as well. And we'll move it to the center, kind of like this. Perfect. I actually want to change this dude a bit. Let's try to make him look a bit more like that. I think that's better. Yeah, that looks a bit more like he's going forward, if you know what I mean. And then this, let's add some inner glow to this as well. So layer styles, inner glow, boom, boom, blue, size, and range, fire. Now we can go back to our main composition, and here we can kind of move the dude. Let's make him 3D first of all, and we need to make him stand up. And we also gotta make him on top of the board. So let's go to 2 views, and let's go to custom view 1. And let's just make sure he's standing on top of the boards, just like that, which I think he is now. So we just gotta scale him down. Alright, so after you adjust it a bit, you can bring him to the front. So here you can see it goes above the 4, so that's a good sign. Then let's bring him up. And this just needs a little bit of adjusting. Like I told you, this is not an easy animation by any means. So boom. And the way you can check if it's nice is you can move the camera, and if he stays in place, you got it. Perfect. Boom. Then let's make the scene switch. So we'll go ahead and start our character at like kind of rotated like that, and just bring him up and a bit more to the left. Let's also bring our camera a bit more to the left like that. And then just bring the dude right there, I think. And yeah, let's just start keyframing position, Z rotation, go a bit forward and just rotate him. Or actually, let's do orientation keyframe because that's what we used. And we can just bring that to 0 and just forward and down. Boom. Now let's make this left graph. So pull the right one to the left. Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll make this happen a bit later. So maybe over here, and then you just increase these ones, not that much, right there. Yeah, that's clean. Okay, got it. Then let's just make the final jump for this dude. So press U to see the keyframes again, and just copy those ones. Go forward, and what I think I'll do for this one is just move the position like that, and then we'll rotate him like this in the middle, and then bring the rotation back to 0, and let's play around with this. So it obviously doesn't work. Let's first off make the 70 graph, and now I think if we select the position keyframes and we press G, and we go to this dot and we drag and hold it like that. Yeah, that's a jump. Nice. Let's make it a bit longer. I think it was too fast, so you can select these, hold Option and drag them out a bit. And yeah, that looks good. Only thing, I'll make this rotation end and start a bit sooner. And let's make the jump even bigger. Like that. Yeah, that's pretty perfect. Beautiful jump. Nice. All right, final things. I'm gonna move this camera a bit so we can see over here. We'll do the camera movements at the end. But yeah, now we're gonna make this thingy that pops up. Alright, so we can take the same colors from here. So let's just go to rounded rectangle tool. Let's go to the radial gradient and we can just pick with or eyedropper tool these to make it faster. So I'm running a bit late on time, but yeah, let's do a box like that. Adjust the gradient to look like this. Let's add some inner glow to it. Boom, boom, make it like that color maybe. Size it up and range. That's pretty fire. I'll just cut it right there and I'll pre-comp this. Make this like warning box. I'll go inside it and here we can work on it a bit better. So here we need a triangle, and the way you make a triangle is you go to the star tool and you draw it like that. Then you open the polystar. You open the polystar path and you just increase this inner radius till it's a triangle. I think it's at 100. A bit more. Yeah, that's pretty fire. Let's make the normal fill and let's make it the dark red we kind of had earlier. Looks good. Let's again center these so we can make everything work out easier. Center the anchor point on that, make it smaller. Boom, boom. Let's put a exclamation mark in the middle. Increase it. Let's make it like bold. And let's make it the same color as the box. Scale him down. Put it in the middle as well, so align it. That's good. These are a bit too big, both of them. And I think we have to go with the medium, it's a bit better. Boom, boom, boom. I'll adjust this actually a bit. That's pretty fire. Then let's put the text, Command T. Upgrade your skill set to continue. And the font we'll do is, yeah, the font I think he used was this Fixter font, which is pretty beautiful in my opinion. Let's also center that. Looks good. Let's make one final box. So let's do rounded rectangle tool. Draw a shape like that, make the roundness like 40. Put on a stroke of 1 and make it like a light yellow, something like this. That's fire. Center that, center the whole box, and then let's just take this text and type in invest $5,000. Bring it up and let's take the same color as the stroke. So grab it, boom, boom, duplicate. There we have it. Make it a bit more towards the white. Center it. I think there we have it. Let's just make the whole box a bit more round. Maybe like 60, not 6, 60. And yeah, that's fire. Now let's go back to the main comp. And here where we reach the end with the dude, we'll just make this 3D. We'll bring it up, rotate it like that, rotate it like this, drag it right there. And let's scale it way down. Bring it up a bit more and towards the dude. Even smaller, kind of like that. And rotate it a bit more towards the guy. Boom. Then let's just animate this easily. Let's press Y and drag the anchor point to the bottom. Let's go scale, put that forward and let's make it 0. Easy is that. And do the left graph, so this one, and boom, that's a nice pop-up. Now the final camera cut is the dude looking at the box, so the camera going behind it. So again, I'll just cut everything here, so Command-Shift-D, bring them up here, and alright boys, this is day 2 of me recording this. I ran out of time yesterday, but it's all good, we're back now, and where we left off was this final scene and the camera cuts, so let's do that straight away. Alright, so the timeline should look something like this with 3 scenes, and on this last one we want the camera to change to look at the warning box that we have right there. And the way we're gonna do that is let's open this camera. This is a 2-node camera, so you should see point of interest as well as the normal stuff. So what we can start off by doing is actually going into 2 views, because it makes it so much easier to just use these controls to move the camera instead of using actually these ones on the left here, which as you can see, it's not that easy to know which one actually does what, even if you already know pretty well what the camera does. This is just so much easier. So we need to turn the camera to basically go from here to come over here and point at this box. So let's start by rotating the camera to point that way and not straight. So just grab this green little circle here and it'll change your cursor to Y, and you can go ahead and move the camera to point in that direction. As you can see, we're now pointing in the direction of the box. Perfect. Next, we can just take this X position, so the red arrow, and we can just grab it and we can move it over to the box, kind of over here. And now we can see that our camera is very close to the box. So let's grab this blue arrow, so the Z position, and let's bring it back. Just right there. Perfect. And now on the first camera view, you can see that the box is, our camera is actually not straight. It's kind of like this. So we want to change it to be like this. And how do we do that? Well, it's very simple. For this one, we might actually use these controls on the left and just go to this last orientation one and just hold command so it goes slowly and just drag that to be straight. You can also select this view, command R, and grab a ruler to make it straight. Boom. Pretty much just like that. Actually, the box itself is a little rotated if you compare it to the board game on the bottom. So we might as well move the box a little like that and then fix the camera and we should be good. Love it. All right, that's pretty much it for the scene switch. Now we can go back to one view, to the main camera view, and now you can see that this looks very blurry. And the reason for that is because the 2-node camera actually has this thing called the depth of field, which basically makes things in the background blurrier and things in the foreground more clear. If you think about like a movie scene where there's a face there and then there's another face in the background, it'll make the background more blurry to showcase the thing on the front better. So that's what it's doing here, and it's kind of mistaking everything. So what we can do to fix this is we can go to the focus distance, and this is basically the distance on which the blurriness happens. So if you just decrease this a lot, you'll see that we have a clear sign. And what we want to do is make the face on the character here, we want to make that blurry, and the box, we want to make it clear. That's kind of what we're going for, but first we need to make the actual face. So the way we're going to make the face is pretty simple actually. We'll go over to this dude, but there's a little problem which we have to fix, because if we do changes to this composition, it'll also do the changes to this scene. So if we, for example, rotate it, I can show you. If we go in this composition and then we go to the body composition and we rotate it like this, then we go back to the scene, and as you can see, it messes it up in the previous scene. So let me just Command C that. The workaround we have to do for this, pretty much go into this composition, go into the body composition and copy the body into the actual timeline. Then I'll go back and I'll take this head and I'll copy it as well into this real composition. Then what I'll do is I'll pre-compose this body and I'll just call it body. And then I'll go into the composition, the body composition, and I'll make it back to advanced 3D. So we have the 3D geometry of the body. Great. And this head composition, it doesn't need to have the advanced 3D, so it can just stay here. But that's pretty much the workaround. It's not that complicated. It's just going into the composition and copying the stuff out of it into a new composition so you don't mess everything up. But cool. Now we'll also pre-compose both of these and we can just call it head and body, or let's just call it dude. That's a bit more of my style. And let's go to the dude composition, and here we have it. Now we want this to look like he's looking away. So we want to make the shot from behind him. So let's try to make this body look like that. I think the way we'll do it is I'll grab the G pen tool, G for the pen tool, and I'll kind of move this dot a little bit over there. Then we can rotate him like this. And let's take G for the pen tool again and kind of move this dot a little bit right like that. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's go into the head and body composition. So this one, no, this is not the one. Let's go here and let's go here. And then let's move the head to be right in the middle of the body. So we can just align this, or actually can't align 3 to left, sorry about that. But yeah. I think that's pretty nice. Now what I'll do is I'll go back to the main composition. I'll go to the previous scene of the dude and I'll go into the body composition and I'll just copy the layer style, so the inner glow. I'll copy it from here. I'll go back to the, not this one, I'll go back to the dude composition and paste it on the body. So we have the same inner glow that we used to have. Perfect. And now we have pretty much all the effects done. We can just delete this previous dude that we had. And then we have the new dude right over here. We'll make him 3D as well. And he's gonna go somewhere very weird. He's gonna go somewhere where he shouldn't. So let's just hit Command D to bring him to the center of the view. And then let's go ahead and rotate him to stand up, something like this. And let's rotate him to be actually seen. Boom. Then I'm gonna go ahead and open 2 views and grab this blue Z thingy and bring him forward so that he's in front of the shape box like this. Now you can see that he is massive. Hit S for scale, scale him down a lot. And I'll go back to 1 views, bring him here, bring him down. And yeah, then we can decide how we want him to look. I think this is all right. We can also make him a bit further away from the thingy. And there we go. And that's pretty nice. Now let's just fix a little bit of the camera cuts, or let's fix a little bit of the camera. So I'll go to this second camera tool and I'll go a bit lower actually. Let's open the camera as well, and I kind of want to fix that rotation. I don't think it's perfect. Let me grab the ruler again. I think this looks good enough. And yeah, and this dude is a bit too blurry. So like I said, focus distance, play around with this. We can also change the aperture, which should, yeah, it's the aperture. So we'll make him a bit blurry, but not too much. Looks good, awesome. Now the scenes are done. Let's do the final adjustments and the final camera cuts. So let's go right over to this first scene. And the first thing we'll do, let's go ahead and add the effect where the numbers, they start glowing when the dude jumps on them. So very simple. If you made it this far, this should be pretty obvious to you, but go right here. Let's go like here where he's halfway through the jump. Let's add some glow. You can just use a regular glow or use deep glow if you have it, but if not, this is fine. Increase the radius to like 90 and the intensity a little bit down. See how it looks. And let's copy this glow to the 1 as well. Boom. That's nice. It doesn't need that much glow to look good. And then let's just go here where he's halfway through. Let's keyframe all of these. And yeah, bring these keyframes to the front actually. And go back right there and just decrease all of these. You also add these to the level like this. And nice. Then go to 2 and the level text. Copy paste. Then go to here. Go to the 3 and the level text. Copy paste. Then go right here, and then we'll actually go to this other scene and we'll make the 4, or actually, yeah, in this case it's the 9, but yeah, do that. And then finally right there. Perfect. And on these ones you actually want to add the glow to the previous ones as well, so add that. Then you can just kind of delete the keyframes because it's supposed to be already glowing. So yeah, like this. And that's good. Now let's do the camera movements for this first scene. And luckily it's very simple. All we have to do is actually make all these 3D first of all. So like that. Then we have to make a camera here because we haven't already done that. And a 1-node camera is fine for this case. Let's bring him down and let me go ahead and cut it right there. And yeah, press P for position. And I actually want to see where this scene starts off. So it starts off right here. And we can basically just cut everything to make it start away right away. Or actually leave a little bit of space. And yeah, then just bring everything forward. I don't know why we had that pause there, I don't remember. But yeah, P for position. Let's zoom this in. Let me lower this timeline a bit, we can't see anything. Zoom it in, bring it a bit to the left, bring it up a bit more, a little more forward. And yeah, till you have something like this. I think that looks good. Then we can just make a position keyframe here, go to the end and bring it down and a little bit to the right. Boom. Then you want to just extend this keyframe a bit so it doesn't actually pause. There's no frames that is paused, and this one to the front. Yeah, pretty perfect. We can make this a bit slower by extending this keyframe. Yeah, like that a little more. Then for the next scene, these are very simple camera movements, luckily. We'll do the same thing, so P for position. Let's, actually never mind, because this is a 2-node camera. When we move the X position, it does this. The workaround for this is to add a null to the camera, and then it'll act like a 1-node camera. So adding a null, if you don't have this plugin, which you should already have, I don't know how many times I've mentioned it, you can just right click the camera, create an orbit null, and it'll do the same thing, as you can see. But yeah, just use this plugin, select the camera, click add null, so much faster. And let's make a position keyframe in the front, and let's, whoops, that's a bit fast. We'll go a little bit down, actually, I think. Kind of like this. And then let's go to the end of this scene. Move like this. That's pretty much it, I think. Let's extend this a bit, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, this cut is so clean with the camera movements. Let's fire. Then the final scene. For this one, the camera's a bit off. I don't like how it's a little rotated to the left. I want it to be pretty much straight. Or actually, the box. Let's make the box straight. Boom. That pretty much fixes it. That looks good, I think. Yeah, that looks good. Let me go back to full view. Yep, I like it. Then the same thing, you add a null to this camera, and then you make a position keyframe. And for this, it's actually the Y rotation because the camera is a bit messed up. Or not messed up, it's just a little weird. And yeah, then let's just go to the end and make it. Whoops, that's not it. Go to the end and make it go like this. Let's make some adjustments to the dude. I kind of want him to be a bit more like this and a bit more on the right. And then I want this to start off over here and end off like this. And this one actually has a graph. So let's select these keyframes and go to the graph editor, and it's this graph where you pull the left one to the left and then you pull it up a bit. So it's a bit more of a constant motion. And then if you play this, beautiful, it's so good. That's so clean, yeah. That's even cleaner than what I expected it to be. You guys gotta subscribe for this. It's the value I'm giving here, I don't think any other channel really gives. So yeah, subscribe. But cool, we're almost done. Let's just do the final effects to make this actually look good. So let's press Option, Command and Y to make an adjustment layer, and let's just slap on a vignette to that, and we can even increase it a bit to give that dark vibe. And then another thing I noticed for these numbers in the original is they're actually pretty low in opacity at first, and then as they appear, they become more visible. So let's just do some keyframes like this. Let's make them like 50. I just made keyframes for all of these. You guys should be able to do this if you made it this far. And then let's press U to see where the glow happens. And let's just go ahead and match these keyframes with the glow ones. Pretty simple. Boom, boom, boom. These ones don't need that. So let's make them like this. We'll add them over to the final two. So these ones, boom, boom, paste, U to see everything, adjust. Great. Great, great. That looks good. Let's see, maybe the vignette is a bit too much, especially on the lower end. Yeah, that's better. And here as the cut happens, it's definitely a bit too much. So let's just go where the cut is. Let's make a cut on the adjustment layer. And we still do want a vignette, but let's make the center right over there. Kind of where the thingies are. Let's just lower it quite a bit. Nice, that looks good. Let's see, that looks all right. I don't think it's the exact same pop-up, by the way, that Iman or Nikola did, but it gets the job done. He used bounce expressions, I think, and I don't want to get into that in this tutorial. So we'll just go with this, and boom, that's such a clean cut. That's fire. And by the way, here I noticed the aperture is also messed up. So let's just go here and let's lower it. Boom, now we can actually see. And now that we lowered it, I think we can increase the vignette to make up for it. Nice, that's clean. Very clean. Final things for this part, we can go ahead and make the locked text there a bit more blurry. We could do it with the camera focus distance, but we can also do it like this. So you can press this, by the way, if you don't see it, so you can know which thing you're doing. And then you can just add some camera lens blur and just increase that a little to get that realistic lens blur. Let's just take like 20. Let's copy it. Let's add it to the text and to the lock icon. Boom, so now they're not distracting and they're more in the background rather than in the foreground. There's also a very minor detail here which Iman added, and he added a quick little wiggle to the head. So you can just go to position if you want to and make a little wiggle expression here, maybe something like this. Yeah, so the head wiggles just a bit on this last scene, as you can see, after it stops lagging. Just a slight wiggle. Actually, it looks pretty good, so that's pretty nice. Alright boys, but I think we're done. Let me play the full animation to you after it's done, the pre-render. Yeah. Alright, let's watch it. This is one of the cleanest animations I've ever done. That's beautiful. Like, that's amazing. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope you got some value out of this long ass tutorial. Yeah, really hope you learned something. Check out more of my recreations by Nikola. They're absolutely amazing. There's another one on the screen right now, which is the iPhone animation he made in his Under the Radar video. Check it out, subscribe to the channel, message me on X or in the comments if you had any problems with this particular animation or with any other editing related stuff. See you in the next one. Peace.